Show. I'm the Trev. Sweet. Happy expansion draft day. Well, it would have been a happy expansion draft day if I didn't already know the roster by 4 o'clock Mountain Time. And you kind of figured one or two names would have got leaked. Maybe just a handful of names. Not the entire team. I was really, honestly, looking for that element of surprise, but regardless, expansion draft is now over, and we can kind of compare notes between my mock draft, which some called a prediction. I didn't really think it was, but I was putting myself in the role of general manager, and if it came off as a prediction, so be it. I'm going to go over my mock draft with how everything played out and who they actually picked. So, having said that, let's get started. All in all, out of the 30 picks that they had to make, Francis and I thought alike on 10 players, which left 20 wide open. And of the 20 that I didn't call right, there were some that I was generally surprised they'd actually picked. And there were some where it's like, is he sticking around? No official trades have been announced as of yet. No side deals were announced. Which is weird because when Vegas had theirs, trades were announced usually with the pick. But no trades yet. That'll probably happen tomorrow. So, see how that goes. But all in all, Hayden Fleury obviously was a lock. Mark Giordano was your obvious lock. And he was there rocking a Seattle jersey. You want to see it? They also picked Jonas Donskoy, which, great pick. I hope they keep him. I really do. I've always liked him, but that's just me. And they also signed and selected Jamie Alexiak. But we all knew the gimme pick, which they announced before the draft even took place. It was Chris Jeter out of Florida. They also selected Vince Dunn, and the question came up, or at least the point was made. They were thinking if they were to pick Tarasenko to flip him, do they think the same thing with Dunn? Because they could probably get good pieces out of Dunn. Cole Lind, Vitek Vanacek, and Mason Appleton round out the ones where Francis and I thought alike. Let's talk about where we didn't. Tyler Picklick out of Arizona. Didn't see that one coming. I really didn't. But, again, this is just the first day. Jeremy Lawson out of Boston. And you couldn't go wrong either way between Lawson or Connor Clifton. There was no wrong answers. You're getting a young defenseman either way. So just make the best out of whichever one you wanted, right? Will Borgen makes the escape out of Buffalo. Good on him. Anybody wanting to get out of Buffalo, I mean, they got to take refuge somewhere, right? Morgan Geekie out of Carolina. And I was back and forthing, even while I was making the video last night, between Geekie and Jake Bean. He's not the only one that back and forth me on this one. John Quinville, taking out Chicago. Didn't see that one. But either farmhand or let him walk. No real loss if he goes, right? Gavin Bayreuther out of Columbus. And I guess you should have believed the rumor when they said they were passing on Domi. The big thing was the cap. And we'll talk about the cap after we're done talking about the picks. Dennis Cholowski out of Detroit. That surprised me. It shouldn't have, but it did. And not a bad pick at all, provided he's sticking around. Adam Larson signed a 4-year deal out of Edmonton. So they have 3 players that they'd signed and selected. And not bad players either. I mean, 1 goalie, 2 defensemen. Gotta have a strong defense, right? Curtis McDermott out of LA. I was scratching my head on this one. What gives for this pick? I can't see McDermott sticking around, but you never know. Carson Soucy out of Minnesota. Surprising. Thought they were going to go with Kakinen. Kale Fleury out of Montreal. So they have two Fleuries. Last expansion draft, there was a Fleury. So I guess if you're a Fleury, you're expansion draft bait. Callie Yancroc out of Nashville. That's the smart pick. You know, why get stuck with 2 $8 million cap hits? Either one of them. Well, you can go with a sure thing. Nathan Bastian got selected out of New Jersey. Didn't see that one coming. Thought, because obviously between my mock draft and the draft that actually happened, defense was the strong point, and I thought for sure they were going to go with Will Butcher, but they didn't. Another one that I was back and forthing on, even while I was making the video, Jordan Eberle. Coming from Edmonton and seeing quite a few Oilers games, back when Eberle was in his rookie season, when he was in his first few seasons, when he's on, when he finds his groove, oh yeah, he's a great player. As I'm recording this, he has the most goals career-wise as far as any player that was selected today. It's not a bad start. Definitely first line, but this is only the expansion draft. More can happen. Joey Decord was taken out of Ottawa. I thought Chris Tierney was your best bet. At worst, Matt Murray was available, but there's the cap hit there too. Same thing with Dadonov. So I guess Decord makes the smart choice. I mean, someone you could definitely send down to the A if you have to. Carson Twarynski out of Philadelphia. Probably the cap hit with Ghost Bear. But you had to pick somebody, right? And whether it's another RFA, it's beside the point. I mean, even if you lose them, you get something. Brandon Tanev out of Pittsburgh. Again, the smart pick. I mean, yeah, you definitely need some forward core strength, and you're definitely going to get it out of Tanev. With Zucker, I thought about it afterwards, and it's like, yeah, no, his contract's worth more than what he's playing at. So that makes a lot of sense. Yanni Gourde comes out of your back-to-back Stanley Cup champs, and there's your cup experience. There's also a cap hit for a couple years, but it's not a bad one. And Jared McCann out of Toronto. Toronto just acquired McCann, but the whole idea was to lose him in expansion. And that's your roster up to this point. I don't know if you can hear, I'm recording during a thunderstorm, which makes me happy. Let's talk about that cap. There's a lot of cap space. Let me show you. Almost 29 million left to play with. And it makes you wonder, is the Burns rumor still a thing? Like, I haven't heard anything about it in months, so it makes one wonder. I mean, if they have that much cap space, they're saving it for something, for someone. Free agency or trade, either way, it's there for a reason. And I mean, without being a fly on the wall, it's hard to tell. Right now, your highest paid player is Mark Giordano, but that's only for one season. That's $6.75 a year. Said Alexiak signed a 5-year, $4.6 million contract per year. Larson, 4 years, $4 million. Dredger, 3 years, $3.5 million. And really, those are your big contracts. Yanni Gourde is 5.16 for 4 more seasons. Donskoy is 3.9 for 2, and Tanev is 3.5 for 4. So really, not a lot of out of control salary at this point. But what's on the way? And with the draft coming up, you gotta think, if any of the kids make the team out of training camp, they're gonna need to be paid too. But either way, financially, they're in great hands. Team-wise, pretty solid roster. I mean, if I was to compare this to Vegas, Vegas had the superstar with Fleury on the team. But superstars don't always get you far. And with the cap being what it is for this year, probably for next, who knows? You can't be disappointed with this kind of a team. It's the best they can do right now. They could have done better, yes, but you're thinking there's a plan here. And again, without being a fly on the wall, it's hard to know. I'm sure we'll find out in the next couple days, because the trade freeze is over tomorrow, the draft's coming up, and then free agency is next week. So a lot can happen. And we're just here for the ride. So let's enjoy it. So that's another one of Trev's hockey shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you're here. Helps us both out. And I know I've been pumping out content that has a lot of time on it by design. So, never a bad thing. And if you're here, if I've taken 11 and a half minutes of your time, that's a great thing. So do me a favor while you're here. Hit that like button. Give me a thumbs up. If you want to, hit that red button that says subscribe. You know you want to. Subscribing makes you feel good. We're at 73. Let's get to 100. Let's make that happen. All my socials, they're in the description down below. Moving forward, well, expansion draft's over. If there's any big movement trades, I might discuss them tomorrow, but other than that, next you'll hear from me will be the draft. Unless I have one more in the tank that I'll probably do tomorrow. Actually, I've got a couple in the tank that I can do tomorrow. One that I wanted to do before the whole expansion draft, but, you know, getting caught up in life and being a dad and all, it happens sometimes. But either way, in the meantime, in between time, if you're looking for more videos from Trev, later.